And to Genf as well on this occasion this year. Oh, and we've lost one. That's the early laps here. 9 laps these qualifying races, but Bernd Eckenbach in trouble already. Looks like he's managed to get himself back on again. And meanwhile, it's still Mike Brown up front on the Honda. Being closed up a little bit though by Daniel Obelisco. Obelisco really challenging for the lead. Mike Brown takes it fairly wide. Obelisco ends up losing more time, and in fact number 6 there, Larry Ward, now joins in the battle for second position. And indeed he's grabbed that second place away. So Larry Ward, we've got the 2 Americans up front now. Brown leading from Ward, who's now coming under increasing pressure from Michael Pichon, the Frenchman. Number 12, watch out for him. He's been doing a lot of his training in the United States. And that, of course, is where Supercross is real big time all the way through the year, not just in the winter months. In fact, he goes into second place, Michael Pichon. Used to racing against the American riders. And now back in Europe, looking to try and be the top European against them. So he's chasing after Mike Brown. Brown running a bit wide there. And Pichon definitely closing in now. And he dives through. There goes Brown. He got him too wide. And Michael Pichon is able to go ahead. And the Americans are not going quite so well this time. Mike Brown, at least, being passed by Pichon. And Pichon now in fine style, beginning to open up a fair bit of an... Great style from Pichon, looking so confident. There's Mike Brown, Larry Ward still in third place. They're being chased by Jamie Dobb, British rider, number 19. And the top British Supercross rider, competing again on the world stage. He's involved in that little group behind him is the number 3, Stefan Everts. Reigning 250 world champion in motocross. So Supercross not quite his speciality. But just look at Michael Pichon on the Kawasaki. He's got out in front and has managed to pull away from those 2 Americans behind him. Meanwhile, Larry Ward is putting Mike Brown under more pressure for second place. Let's take a look back. And there you can see Mike Brown still second, number 9, Larry Ward third. Just look at the height that they achieve over the back section of the circuit there. Number 34 flying through the air, Garcia Vico. But there's no holding back Michael Pichon. In fact, he set the fastest lap now of the race as well, 35.121 seconds to get around this specially built circuit. Average speed of 41 kilometers an hour. That's pretty impressive on this sort of terrain. 250 cc's, all of these Supercrossers. There is a 125 competition going on here in Barcelona over the weekend as well. But this and the main event for the 250 bikes. Getting past the back markers now, making it look pretty easy. Michele Monti is just going past the Italian, number 37. 25, that's Miska Aaltonen, but he's quite a way down. But look at this, there's the battle for second, and they're absolutely side by side. Larry Ward, number 6, now trying to get past Mike Brown, and it looks as though he may well be able to snatch that second place into the closing stages of this race now. And Ward, the 25-year-old American, former winner of Supercross titles in the States. And there, Pichon, putting on a great show. Let's look back. There's the first of the back markers. Big gap back to the battle for second place. There's the second of the back markers, Aaltonen. We didn't really get a chance to see whether Larry Ward had managed to open up more of an advantage. Checkered flags being made ready. Pichon is coming through to win the first qualifier in Barcelona. Superb win for the Frenchman on the Kawasaki. Second place indeed going to Larry Ward. Mike Brown in the end in third place on his Honda, with Stefan Everts fourth. Jamie Dobb finishing in fifth position. Pedro Gonzalez sixth for Mexico, and Daniel Obelisco, who was well up at the beginning, well, he dropped down to seventh place at the end of the race. Take a look back at the style there of Michael Pichon of the checkered flag. Dramatic stuff. Right, on for the second race now. Second qualifier this is, the Group B. And we've got another couple of quick Americans in this one. Ryan Hughes is one of them. But it's a great start there for Thierry Bettis, Frenchman, who gets into the lead initially, number 27. It's been chased by Frederic Vial. Not a great start for the Americans this time around. Jeff Emig is in third place. He's on the number 2 machine. In fact, it looks as though he's going up into second there. Yes, well, he's gone very wide. Is he going to be able to maintain that? Took a very wide line in, but no, he's dropped back to third again. Chasing after him, Ryan Hughes, number 5. And watch out for Hughes. He's one of the top riders of American Supercross. Back over to Europe again this winter. And they're taking the lead, in fact, goes Frederic Vial on the Kawasaki. So Vial ahead now of Thierry Bettis. Still in third place is Jeff Emig. And then Ryan Hughes. Chasing him, number 11, is Jeff Matiasevich, also of the United States. And then the rest of the field made up with a couple more Frenchmen. Frederic Bolly, also in this one. Another motocross rider. But the Supercross discipline, a very specialist one. The motocross riders putting in a strong performance, but Supercross is something that needs specific practice and training for. The Americans get so much of practice through their season. And these top Americans racing only in Supercross, often racing in the big outdoor stadiums in the United States. But at the moment, it's a Frenchman in front, Frederic Vial. And he's putting in a superb performance here. A little close battle going on for second place behind him. As you can see, Jeff Emig, there's Ryan Hughes, but Jeff Emig definitely closing up a little bit. Race leader, 22 years old now, Vial, former French 125 Supercross champion. Oh, and look at that battle for second. That's really hotting up nicely. Emig trying to find a way around the outside of Thierry Bettis. As Vial continues to pull away. Former winner of the 125cc category in Bercy. A couple of years, 92 and 93. There is Emig. He's up into second now. Bettis down to third. Ryan Hughes still in fourth. Then Jeff Matiasevich. And the rest of the field. Oh, little mistake there from Frederic Vial. That will have cost him some time. But he's sort of got away with it. Just got a little out of balance. And perhaps now beginning to feel a little bit more tired. 9 laps, remember, of this circuit. And there's still some way to go through the evening yet. They make it through to the semi-finals. It's a 13-lap semi-final to contend with, and the final itself is a full 19 laps. No rest on this circuit. It's physically demanding. Tight hairpins. And then getting a timing right on the whoops. Absolutely critical. And look at this, Jeff Emig definitely closing up to leader Frederic Vial. Well, in fact, that's Ryan Hughes in second place. Number 5 is Ryan Hughes. Closing up towards Vial, but Vial looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Jeff Emig still there, but he's a couple of places further back. So, can Ryan Hughes in the remaining laps, just close it up a little bit more. Another 22-year-old. Number 30, Jean-Sébastien Roy from Canada, also in there. And Ryan Hughes taking a rather wide line that time. Still Frederic Vial. Lapping another of the back markers, Ivan Rodriguez, the Spaniard, on home ground. And now there's contact between the two of them, and Ryan Hughes goes through. Dramatic stuff in the closing stages of this race. Ryan Hughes grabs the lead from Frederic Vial. Vial in trouble on the number 15 bike, and in fact up into second has come Thierry Bettis. And Jeff Emmig's right there as well, so he's got to watch out. Frederic Vial and Ryan Hughes making contact. Dramatic stuff right in the closing stages, and it looks as though Ryan Hughes now will have the win in this second qualifier. Javier Fernandez, he's just making his way past, but Fernandez a lap down now, and Ryan Hughes just grabbing the advantage there. Last lap he's on. Checker flag being made ready, and it looks like an American win this time. We had Michael Pichon win the first one, but Ryan Hughes wins the second qualifying race. Thierry Bettis coming through in second place, number 27, and Frederic Vial surviving to finish third. Let's take a look at that incident again. Ryan Hughes diving down the inside, contact was made, and Frederic Vial, the leader for so long, the one who lost out the most in that incident. And Ryan Hughes coming through to take the victory. Hughes the winner then from Bettis. Vial with Jean-Sébastien Roy just beating Jeff Emig. So on to the third qualifier then, before the semi-finals, and away they go. And watch out for Jeremy Mcgrath in this one. Mcgrath number 1, the real Supercross star. Well, there's a bit of incident going into the first corner. Looks as though everybody's got away with it. And up front, Steve Lamson's grabbed the lead from Mike Craig, and David Aviles of Spain's up there as well. And where is Jeremy Mcgrath? Number 1, there he is. Well, he's back in about 4th position at the moment. No, very wide. Mike Craig there, number 10. Steve Lamson pulls away. We've got Americans 1st and 2nd. Lamson ahead of Mike Craig. But watch out for Jeremy Mcgrath. Number 1, running in 4th place. There he is, Mr. Supercross, winner of the World Championship last year, and the corresponding events started off in Barcelona in 1994. And Mcgrath, the favourite for victory again this season. He's in 3rd place now. Steve Lamson just trying to hold off that challenge at the moment from Mike Craig. But now into 2nd place, there is Jeremy Mcgrath. Already makes 1 position. And he's won so much in Supercross, this man, over the last few years. Not only in the United States, but also in Europe, winning at Bercy, winning in Barcelona. He's won in Japan. Just about everywhere. Superb record he has. And now he's chasing after Steve Lamson. Tight line from Mcgrath. Is it enough to take the lead? Well, he's alongside. Lamson looks over his shoulder. The challenge from the champion with that number 1 plate. Well, he's dropped back a little bit again now, but still some way to go in this one. Still the number 10 of Mike Craig in 3rd place. Very tidy that time from Steve Lamson. Both of these riding Hondas, but they're pretty much production bikes, 250 motocross machines, not really very modified from standard. Honda supporting these two in their Supercross in the United States. a lot of factory help, but when they come to Europe, they're basically running on standard machinery. And we've got a great battle between these two. Lampson at the moment managing to fend off Mcgrath. Oh, and Mcgrath there almost seemed to make a little mistake. That dropped him back another length or two. Gives Mike Craig a little look in. Just trying to time those jumps to perfection. Using the brakes when they're flying through the air to adjust the angle of the bike. By applying the mid-air, they can control the angle at which it comes down, and Mcgrath once again closes right up to Lampson. Starting to challenge once more for the lead of this one. Mcgrath already has set the fastest lap. Set it on the second lap, 34.636 seconds. And it's the first man into the 34s in the heats that we've seen so far. So it looks as though he's waiting at the moment. Mike Craig's dropped back a bit in third place. Fourth place is a battle going on between Jimmy Button and Colin Dugmore. And now, this time, Mcgrath takes the wide line, tries to get a good run out. Fantastic height achieved there. And the spectators, some of them lower than the bikes themselves, and look at this, they're cheering because once again they're side by side. Mcgrath this time goes in front, and the crowd love that. He's their hero. The closing stages of this first race for him, the third of the qualifiers, and Mcgrath grabs the lead. It did look as though he was just waiting for his moment. Now he's ahead of Lampson, he's beginning to pull away. And Lampson trying to chase, but Mcgrath just has that little bit of extra pace. It's a combination of ultimate fitness, physical ability, coordination, a skill to control the bike when it's flying through the air. The checkered flag, and Mcgrath in dramatic style wins the third qualifier to take him through to the semi-finals. And, well, perhaps expected, but nonetheless a great ride from Jeremy Mcgrath. Friendly American, loves the sport and lives for the sport, and is paid well for it, earning around about $3 million a year for this sort of riding. So, with Mcgrath the winner of the third qualifier, we'll be back with the semi-finals. Welcome back to Indoor Supercross from Barcelona. We're into the semi-finals now, and this one has got some of the top men we've seen racing already. Watch out for Mikel Pichon, number 12. He won the first of the qualifying races. And we've also got Larry Ward in this one. Ryan Hughes as well, who won the second of the qualifiers. So away they go. And it's a good start initially for Miska Aaltonen, the Finnish rider, who had problems earlier on. Oh, and problems there for number 2, Jeff Emig. So it doesn't look as though he's going to be winning this one. Up front, though, it's changed already. Michael Maschio of France has now taken the lead. Number 16, watch out for him. Number 3 there, that's Stefan Everts, the Belgian, the top Belgian motocross rider. Had a great season this year in the 250 World Championship, taking the win. 13 laps to go in this semi-final, and the battle on up front. Oh, and going through, but no, because there's contact with Mike Brown, trying to take the lead from Michael Maschio. And number 3 there, Stefan Everts, thought he had a chance of taking the lead, but somehow Mike Brown managed to get it all back together and go into the lead. Well, we saw Mike Brown leading earlier on. That was a bit of a heavy landing. He lost some time there, and indeed that's allowed Stefan Everts to dive through on the inside. Everts goes in front. So the Belgian leads the American. Third place for Ryan Hughes, and we saw him come through earlier on. from further back. So watch out for Hughes, back in third position. No, he's second already. Come up to second, he's moved ahead. And Michael Pichon now up there as well. Number 6, Larry Ward. And Jamie Dobb, number 19, still in this one. So Hughes chasing after Stefan Everts. Both on the Kawasaki's. And Everts beginning to come under increasing pressure now from Ryan Hughes. But watch out for Michael Pichon, number 12. He's still involved, fighting in third position. Stefan Everts, who's had such a good season in the Motocross World Championships this year. The winner of the title ahead of Monique Beverts and Talon Voland. The championship that Kurt Nicol was racing. Oh, and look at that, very wide from Ryan Hughes that time. And indeed, Pichon has gone through into second position. And this has allowed Stefan Everts to get away just a little bit, open up and more of an advantage than we saw a few laps ago. 13-lap race, remember. But Pichon seems to be very rapid on this Barcelona circuit. There he is, he's closed up once again. You can see within about a lap he's already closed up 2 or 3 lengths. Takes that wider line. Doesn't seem to make a huge amount of difference if you take the inside or the outside line through the hairpin. Oh, and he's gone through. Suddenly snatches the advantage from Stefan Everts. Everts went wide on the other hairpin, and now he's coming back. Great stuff. Good racing this between the 3 of them now, because Larry Ward's joined in on number 6. And this is Supercross at its best. The 3 riders absolutely committed to taking the lead, and Everts back in front once again. Pichon back to second, and Ward in third. Great battle. Where's Stefan Everts? Winner of 8 of the heats of the World Championship this year in 250 motocross. Different style of riding, of course. The jumps on Supercross so much more important than in motocross, although motocross, the jumps are a key part of the circuit. Supercross, that's what they're all about. And looks like Michael Pichon is coming back at him again. Frenchman. That training in the United States really has helped him. But can he get past? There's Larry Ward in third place. Ryan Hughes has dropped back a bit. We saw him up there earlier on, but he's certainly dropped away. And the crowd watching this battle. Oh, and then Pichon's gone back ahead again of Everts. Everts takes the wider line this time. But Michael Pichon goes in front. 6 laps to go in this first semi-final. Ward in third place. And now I think Pichon is beginning to put away. Just as we saw him in that opening qualifying race. Putting in a superb performance here. So Pichon and Everts on their Kawasaki lead Larry Ward on the Yamaha. And we're about 2/3 of the way through the race. Pichon now setting fastest laps as he pulls away back into the 34 seconds bracket again. Same sort of pace as Jeremy Mcgrath was doing in his qualifier. Remember, Mcgrath is coming up in the next semi-final. You have to wonder whether Pichon is going to be able to give Mcgrath a good race in the final. Looks as though he could do, on the basis of this performance here. There's Larry Ward, third place. Fourth place is Ryan Hughes. Just got a quick glimpse of him on the number 5 machine. Somebody's in trouble. Michael Matteo, earlier leader, has obviously had a little bit of an incident there. Slowed down. There's Ryan Hughes, closed up. Matteo gets going once more. But nobody can hold on to the pace of Michael Pichon. And he's enjoying himself now. He's got a big enough lead to be able to relax a little bit. Second place there, Stefan Everts. Third place, Larry Ward. Perhaps saving himself for the final itself. And a pretty wide line from Ben Eckenbach. James Dobbs still there. He's riding the number 19 bike, remember, and he's just behind Pedro Gonzalez. Last lap then for Michael Pichon. He's going to take the win by the looks of things in the first semi-final. So winning the qualifying race, winning the semi-final, looking good for the Frenchman. Fastest lap in this one as well, a 34.639. She did on the 10th lap, so this really has been his type of course, and a big round of applause from the Spanish crowd. Pichon defeating the Americans. And in fact, a double win for the Europeans, with Stefan Everts coming through in second position. First American, Larry Ward, in third place. There's Stefan Everts. Well, there he is. Yeah, a dramatic jump from Everts, number 3. Larry Ward in third. And Ryan Hughes in fourth position. But for Michael Pichon, just the sort of race he needed, and he can now prepare for the final itself. So there, the confirmation. Mike Brown ending up in 5th place, with Pedro Gonzalez 6th and Jamie Dobb in 7th. So one more semi-final to go, and then the big finale itself. Jeremy Mcgrath coming up in the next race. Stay with us here on Eurosport for Supercross. So back to the second semi-final now. Watch out for number 1, Jeremy Mcgrath. He's just right in the middle there as they set off on this. Another 13 lane. He's got a good start. Has he got the whole shot? Well, not quite. He's just beaten into that first corner by Frederick Bolly. But Mcgrath, no, comes back out in front, and Bolly, number 18, is back into second place under attack from Mike Craig for that second position. Let's see. Yes, I think Craig's gone through, but Mcgrath with the whole shot in the end, just coming out of the first corner. Oh, just a little bounce that didn't look quite right, but he still pulls away, and Mcgrath now is going to take some beating, there's no doubt about that. To have got in front so quickly, well, we saw him battle his way to the front in that qualifying race, the third of the qualifiers, but now Mcgrath in front, and with clear track in front of him, it's likely we'll see him pull away, I think, now. Being chased there by Mike Craig. Then it's Frederick Bollet and Steve Lamson. Behind Lamson is Thierry Bettis. We saw them battling away in the earlier qualifying race. Cameraman coming under close attention from Frederick Bollet once again. That wider line through the hairpin. And just look at the height once again that these guys can achieve. Huge support here for Supercross. It's the 4th year of this World Supercross Championship, being held in Spain, France, Japan, and an opportunity for the European fans to see the top Supercross riders from the United States up against their own European riders. Mcgrath already enjoying the showing off. Second place, Mike Craig. Let's just watch Jeremy Mcgrath. Just look at that. Fantastic control. Just flicks the bike into the air, can control the angle of it so subtly, using the brakes, using the throttle. Just as important when he's in the air as it is when he's on the ground. Sliding it into that hairpin just on the rear brake. And it's the sort of style that has endeared him to crowds all over the world. Look at the gap he's opened up already over Mike Craig. He in turn has a fair bit of a lead over Steve Lamson in third place. Problems there for number 20, Jimmy Button. Another of the top American riders, but not having quite so much luck this weekend. And Jeremy Mcgrath just making this look very, very easy indeed. Seven laps to go, just about half distance completed. And Steve Lamson's going well. He's lying in third place at the moment. Remember, he's on the number 4 Honda. That's another good jump from Mcgrath there. But Lamson is closing up a little bit to second place man Mike Craig. So that's a little battle we've got to watch out for. Watch out for the battle for second position. There's Mcgrath. Battle for second, still some way behind him. But it is beginning to close up a little bit. Finding his way past Oscar Lanza, the Spaniard. Now, where's that battle for second got to? Still, Lamson is closing up to Mike Craig, but they're some way behind Mcgrath. Can't even see them in that shot, just in the back of the picture. Just see the two of them battling for second place. 4 laps to go then in this second semi-final. And Jeremy Mcgrath looking so relaxed, so cool about it all. But we've got to wonder whether Michael Pichon, the winner of the other semi-final, can perhaps challenge him. Now watch out, here is the battle for second, and in fact there is the change for second. Mike Craig, number 10, just losing that second place to Steve Lamson. And I think Lamson probably has it now. Look at the pace of Mcgrath, and getting into a bit of difficulty was David Aviles. Started well in his qualifying race, remember, but then dropped back, and now I think struggling a little bit fitness-wise. Body taking such a pounding. Keep the bike, keep the rhythm over these bumps. It's just amazing. Mcgrath, so strong. Just makes it look so easy. Again, the style, 2 laps to go. And physical condition to be able to ride at this level, lap after lap. Just amazing. And Mcgrath is the top man in the sport, there's no doubt. There's Lamson going through in second place now, number 4. He's got himself quite a few lengths ahead of Mike Craig. Frederic Bollet still in 4th place. Colin Dugmore running in 5th. Ahead of Thierry Baptiste. As Jeremy Mcgrath comes up to go on to the final lap. Looks like he's favourite again for the win here in Barcelona. Mcgrath coming round to take the checkered flag. His second semi-final. Mcgrath wins it. Big gap back to Steve Lamson. Over 5 seconds in fact, as Lamson comes across in 2nd place. We wait for 3rd place. Should be Mike Craig, number 10. Yes, it is. Still in 3rd place. Frederic Bollet taking 4th. Colin Dugmore 5th. And Thierry Baptiste in 6th position. Behind him, Jean-Sébastien Ward, Jeff Matijasevic, John Dowd, Oscar Lanza, David Aviles and Olivier Lambert, the final finisher. And it was Steve Lamson, in fact, with the fastest lap in the end, in his chase of Mike Craig, going for 2nd place. So Jeremy Mcgrath sets himself up for the final here in Barcelona. We'll have that for you in just a moment. So we're on to the final now in Barcelona. It's a 19-lap final. And can anybody beat this man, Mcgrath? Well, watch out for Michael Pichon, because he's been going well over the course of the weekend so far. Winner of the other semi-final, winner of his qualifier. Pichon riding number 12, so keep an eye out for him. Away they go. Mcgrath makes a great start from the middle there. Oh, but no, I don't think he's done quite enough to get in front. It was also a good start from Steve Lamson. Oh, we've got an incident. Several riders down. Ryan Hughes there, number 5. Stefan Everts is down as well. And John Dowd, that is, behind him, number 7. And that's a disaster for some of the front runners. What a shame. Let's take a look at the replay. And can we see what happened? Well, several riders going in very wide, but in fact it happened down on the inside. Hughes there, just getting caught out, but up front it is Mcgrath. Whoop, nearly collecting one of the circuit officials who didn't quite realise they were coming around that soon, but just stopped in time before he was run over by the American superstar. Steve Lamson in 2nd, Larry Ward in 3rd. 4th place is Colin Dugmore, the South African. So he's gone well. Good start from him. But where is Michael Pichon? He's not up there, and he may well have got caught out in that early running. Mcgrath has the lead from Lamson. That's how they finished in that 2nd semi-final. Of course, Larry Ward's now part of it as well. But this is just what Mcgrath wanted. Great start from him. And now Lamson, well, he had fastest lap in the other semi, so perhaps he can stay with Mcgrath. Let's look back. Well, we didn't get much of a chance to see the group there battling for 5th and 6th. Colin Dugmore, number 23, is going well, though. South African who rides mainly in Germany. 4th place for him. Won the motocross championship in the Czech Republic this year, in fact. Still no sign of Michael Pichon up in the front runners. He's quite a long way down the order at the moment. And there, problems for one of the top riders. Mike Brown goes out, and we saw him competing very effectively earlier on. There was Michael Maschio was out there as well. Just saw him by the side. Oh, we've had a bit of an incident, obviously. Number 22. That's Pedro Gonzalez, and that is Michael Pichon. Pichon trying to work his way up that mid-order, has obviously had an incident with Pedro Gonzalez, and that's the end of the challenge from the Frenchman. And what a shame, the other winner of the semi-final. And he's been very much on the pace all evening, Michael Pichon, but the final not going his way at all. He didn't make a great start, got stuck in that midfield group, and now contact with the Mexican Pedro Gonzalez and Mikel Pichon out of it. So that would tend to indicate that Jeremy Mcgrath is going to have it fairly straightforward through to the flag, unless Steve Lampson can close up a bit. But Mcgrath's definitely pulled away a bit over the last couple of laps, and he's beginning to enjoy himself again. The gap 2.26 seconds, as you can see, first to second. 12 laps to go. Frederic Bollet at the side of the road there, side of the track. Looks like he's had enough for some reason, perhaps a mechanical problem on the number 18 bike. So another Frenchman bites the dust, in effect. We've lost Pichon, we've lost Bollet, we've lost Michael Machiot as well. So most of the French riders in trouble in this one. Still got Thierry Bettis running in the finals, running in 9th place. Jamie Dobbs there as well. Watch out for number 19. Top British rider. So somebody's getting a black flag there. Well, he's opening up that gap. Stretched it out by another second and a bit over the last few laps. And Steve Lampson not able to respond to Mcgrath's pace. Flicks it round again on the power. Where is Lampson? There he is, second place. And that flag seems to be going out to John Dowd, number 7. And he's being waved off the track. Now, I wonder if that's because of some sort of mechanical problem that's obvious to the officials, or whether John Dowd has been a naughty boy in his riding. Whatever. There he is, number 7. That's Jamie Dobb right behind him. Or in fact, there's Mcgrath, rather. That was Jamie Dobb right behind Mcgrath. He's just been lapped by him. Stefan Everts, there's second place man. Still they're trying to get John Dowd in. Still he's pounding round and round. Mcgrath totally unaffected by all of that. He just continues on his way. Coming up to Thierry Bettis, next one to be lapped. Still stretching out that lead. Over 4 seconds now. So 2/3 distance completed. Mcgrath has set the fastest lap so far in the race. He's into the 33s, first rider into the 33s all evening. Average speed of just over 42 kilometers an hour. And that's pretty fast in the tight confines of this Palau Sant Jordi Stadium in Barcelona. Stefan Everts running well now, but remember he had that fall at the beginning of the race, so that's dropped him down the order, so he's not as far up as he looks in that picture. Steve Lampson still in second, and Larry Ward Number 6 is in fact still in 3rd place. There's no stopping him. Mcgrath just pulling away lap by lap, little bit by little bit, and making everyone else just look second best. He's done it so often before, not only in the European events, but in Supercross in the United States as well. Jeremy Mcgrath just is Mr. Unbeatable. Many times champion in the United States, so many wins that it's easy to lose track of them all, but he just seems to have that combination of talent and physical ability that is just perfectly suited to this form of motorcycle sport. And Mcgrath just makes it look so easy. Into the closing stages now of this final in Barcelona, and he's been the dominant rider again this evening. Looking back to Steve Lamson, he's going to take 2nd place by the looks of things. And look at Mcgrath, he's playing to the crowd now. They love it. And this really is sheer spectacle for these spectators. Fantastic height that the bikes achieve. It looks impressive on television, but there in the stadium, even better. And it might not be a Spanish rider up front, but they still love to see Jeremy Mcgrath perform to this sort of level. Lamson still in 2nd, ahead of Larry Ward in 3rd. Mike Craig, number 10, he's further down after that fall earlier on. Mcgrath, though, is coming through on the last lap to take the win in Barcelona. Another to add to his tally. Another trophy for the already overloaded cabinet. And Jeremy Mcgrath takes the checkered flag. Superb performance from him, absolutely faultless. 2nd place for another American, Steve Lamson. And it's an American 1, 2, 3 with Larry Ward coming through in 3rd position. Colin Dugmore, the South African, putting in a good performance to take 4th, ahead of 3 more Americans, Ryan Hughes, Jimmy Button and Mike Craig. Stefan Everts coming through in 8th position in the end, ahead of Thierry Bettis and the final finisher in 10th, Jamie Dobb. With plenty of support, Jeremy Mcgrath steps up onto the top of the podium. There he is. And accustomed he may be, but delighted to win again. Highly competitive young man. Well, that's not quite the end of the entertainment, because Supercross also sees jumping competitions. And we'll just take a quick look at the top 3 in the jumping competition, where the idea is to basically impress the crowd with one's ability to fly through the air in the most dramatic style. And this is the Spaniard Oscar Lanza playing up to the fans in the jump competition, trying to gain a little bit more encouragement. Can't hear you, he says, come on. So, Oscar Lanza. Yeah, and that pleases the crowd, they like that. Good jumping from the Spaniard. And just listen to that reception. So Lanza finishing third in the competition. Second place going to Serge Guidetti of France. And let's see what he did to impress the crowd. No, well, foot on the handlebars there, and the crowd like that one. Serge Guidetti, a true showman. There you can see, getting that right foot right up onto the top of the handlebars, back down again, plenty of time before landing it. But what about Mcgrath? Look at that, already a great jump before he gets into the main one. And the winner of the evening now putting on the jump display. Let's watch him. And it's both feet off the pegs, flying through the air. Let's take another look. Fantastic stuff from Jeremy Mcgrath. Look at that. The gymnast of the air. And Jeremy Mcgrath, the winner of the evening's racing, the winner of the jump competition as well. So well done to Mcgrath. I'm sure we'll see a lot more.